Hey guys, Kevin here with the NOYC Godcast, where we offer wacky wisdom from God's holy word. In this week's episode, we are continuing our November series on being thankful in a true biblical sense. So the Bible is filled with commands to give thanks to God. Psalms 106:1, 107:1, 118:1, 1 Chronicles 16:34, 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Most verses go on to list the reasons why we should thank him, such as his love endures forever. That's Psalm 136:3. He is good. That's from Psalm 118:29. And his mercy is everlasting. Psalm 100. Verse 5. Thanksgiving and praise always go together. We cannot adequately praise and worship God without also being thankful. Feeling and expressing appreciation is good for us. Like any wise father, God wants us to learn to be thankful for all the gifts he has given us. It is in our best interest to be reminded that everything is a gift from him. Without giving thanks, we become arrogant and self-centered. We begin to believe that we have achieved everything on our own if we're not being thankful to God.
You know, that's the funny thing is that even like you just said, any achievement we've ever had, but also people are just like, well, I'm just naturally good at this. Well, who do you think gave that to you?
Yeah, that's more reason to...
Like, you just happen to be good with numbers. God placed that in you. Anything that is naturally occurring to you is God-given. So It's not, you can't just be like, well, I'm just an organized person. No, God gave you the gift of organization.
Right.
Like,
even when you're not trying to be organized, you're just organized.
Yeah.
Like, that's even more reason to acknowledge God, you know, because you know you didn't do anything to become, organized. One of the big pushes in LifeWise that I tend to bring up probably every other day is that like whatever you are good at, that's from God.
Yep.
Right. So whether you're a good athlete, a good speller, a good video gamer, that's a gift from God.
Yep.
And then I constantly challenge the students to like, it's great for you to know it, but like we are transitioning from, if you do something good, someone pat you on the back and say, good job, then you have the opportunity to say, that's God.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Okay. So then lately we've been transitioning to, well, what if no one ever says good job to you? Like, how do you then, like, do you just keep quiet about it? Or do you still, give thanks to God in some way? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's kind of awkward to walk up to someone and say, hey, you know that shot I made? That was God. Like, that's like an awkward conversation to have. But every good thing from us is from God. So,
well, I think that's the thing is like when you're talking about giving thanks to God, it has to be done when you're talking to other people, especially people that are non-church people, non-Christians. Like you almost have to do it in a way that it makes it natural in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, because like someone may not come up to you and be like, oh, you did really good at your game or whatever. But you can go up to somebody and you start talking about the game and you're like, yeah, I trained really hard, but I'm so glad that God gave me the ability to be able to do this.
Right.
And like just different things like that. So it's not necessarily you have to go up to somebody and be like, hey, God did this. Goodbye.
Exactly.
But like conversation, that's the whole thing about being Christian is that your whole life, your whole conversation, your whole everything is about him. Like everything in your life is him. So eventually, even just in natural conversation, you're going to tend it towards him, you know?
Yeah. It's funny, like when you're talking to people and you're constantly giving God the glory and they are kind of just like ignoring it. Yeah. And like the conversation goes around in a circle because you keep saying, give glory to God. That was God. Yes, I know. But you did that so good. Yep. Thank God. But that you're really, really, really special. I know.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Like it takes an unsaved person like several trips around the track before they're like, oh, you really mean God helped you do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfulness keeps our hearts in the right relationship with God, the giver of all good gifts. Giving thanks also reminds us of how much. Let me try that. Giving thanks also reminds us of how much we do have. We as humans are prone to have a strong desire for things that other people have. Yep. We also tend to focus on what we don't have. So our natural state is, I don't have what you have. I want what you have. And, you know, that just leads to bad things and misery, you know? So by giving thanks continually, we're reminded of how much we do have. When we focus on blessings rather than wants, we are happier. When we start thanking God for the things we usually take for granted, our perspective changes, which is really what God is trying to get us to do. He is changing our heart so that our perspective towards life in turn will change. We realize that we cannot even exist without the merciful blessings of God. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "In everything give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ." We are to be thankful, not only in pleasant situations, but in the circumstances we don't like. When we purposefully thank God, regardless of what comes into our lives, it helps us keep bitterness and envy away. We cannot be both thankful and bitter at the same time. We should be thankful every season in our life, in our highs and in our lows, because it is in our lows that we build our faith in God. We should be thankful for who God is, even in the midst of our worries. He sustains us and gives us strength to endure. We thank him for his promise that all good things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. We should have thankful hearts toward God, even when we do not feel thankful for the circumstances. So we should be thankful regardless of the circumstances. Like our thankfulness and our circumstances are not the same.
Yeah, they're not, what's the word? They don't coincide. Like, it shouldn't be, your thankfulness should be consistent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think, when we look at other people's gifts, so the things that we think about, it's always the grass is greener on the other side. Okay. And so I think it's really easy to look at somebody and be like, oh, God blesses them so much, but they don't know what's going on behind that. You know what I mean? And so there are some situations that people are blessed and it's just because the way that it is, you know. So one that I think a lot of people think about, especially around this time of the year, because it costs a lot of money to do Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that, is that people like, well, why did they get so much more money than me? Why did they make more money than I do? Why did God give them that job or whatever? And I think when you're looking at that, you have to realize that there's a couple different things that could be going on. Like, you may not be smart with money. And so God's not going to give you a whole bunch of money if you're not going to be smart with it and you're going to be weird. But then also you have to think, like, maybe you're not supposed to have that because that's just not your avenue of gift giving.
Right.
Your avenue of gift giving is your time. Is your abilities. Maybe you're good at artistry. Maybe you can work on crafts. Maybe you can. There's so many different things in the church and ministries that money, yes, ministries have to have money. But these ministries need more than just money. If we could have a pile of money sitting in one of these rooms for OCC, but if nobody does the actual work, then
the money it's
just going to sit there.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times people think, well, I need money to do this, or I need this to do this. That's not your calling. That's not your spot. Let the people that God has given the money to do that part.
And you
and
do
then
your
you
part.
can do the other part.
Yeah.
It all has to work together, you know? And I think that's the problem. We think, oh, well, I could do more for God if he would just give me this thing. If he made me a good singer, if he made me a good musician, if he made me this, find the thing that he wants you to do.
Yeah, he made you good at something.
Yeah, don't want what someone else is having to do, what someone else's ministry is. Find your own ministry, because honestly, if you're trying to fill somebody else's ministry, you're going to be miserable the entire time.
Yeah.
And so be thankful for the things that you have that you can contribute, what he gave you to be able to move his kingdom forward.
Right. Every time I think of people who are like envious of other people who have a lot of money, my mind goes to this commercial. I may be telling my age, so maybe past you guys, but I don't think this. It's like a guy, and he has like this humongous house, and I'm pretty sure his name is Bob, and like the announcer is like, Bob has a beautiful house, a wonderful wife, and he's like out mowing his lawn, and like he has like a nice car in his driveway, and he's like has this big cheesy smile, and he's waving at his neighbors, and the announcer goes, but he's up to his neck in debt.
Yep.
So. Like, while on the outside, you may be looking at someone saying, man, God surely blessed them with a lot. Yeah. God may not have nothing to do with the material things that they have, because every good blessing comes from God, If Satan can get you to focus on money instead of God, he's going to keep giving you money because he's like, you're not focused at all on what's important. You know what I mean? He starts preparing a room for you down where he lives because he's like, you're going to keep taking this money I'm giving you, because I don't want you to turn from this worldly thing.
Well, and I think that's the thing when you're talking about the gifts that God gives everybody, the blessings, the different things, you have to look at it in a personal level. You can't, and you have to be so in tune with God because you can get slighted by things that seem good.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so like, it's like the whole thing of sometimes people are blessed to move into a different job that pays more, but it requires more time of them. And sometimes God calls you into that. But then there's other times that actually God may want you to take a step down.
Right.
And want you to take a pay cut so that you can do more for him. Yeah. And so there's a balance though, because there has to be money to give to the ministries again, but then there's also has to be people to do the ministry.
Right.
And so you have to be in tune with God. You have to figure that. So it would be really easy if you just took every promotion because you're supposed to. Like that's just what you like.
That's what the world says.
Yeah, the whole point is to make more money always, but it's not always to make more money. Sometimes you have to make a different role change in order to do what's pleasing to God, and that's in everything.
Right.
Actually, currently, I am kind of moving. I'm trying to put feelers out because I've been playing keyboard for. Well, I've been playing piano and keyboard for like a long time. And like I've played with the band and different things like that. Sorry, CJ. I played with the band. I played with, at the camp, like just different things. But like right now in the ministry that like my ministry right now is my kids and different things like that. I'm trying to figure out if that's where I'm even supposed to be anymore. You know what I mean? So like ministries change over time. And the things that you need to do change. So whereas I was, keyboard, and that was my ministry, giving praise to God through keyboard and song. Now it's me sitting in my pew with my kids and teaching them how to be in church and teaching them to listen and teaching them and being able to help others that have kids in that spot. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so I think you can be like, oh, well, I wish that I could play piano. I could do that. But like, that's not your calling. So, and then you have to step away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the important thing, because you guys might be wondering like, well, how do I know? You know what I mean? If I'm, well, God gives us certainly, but every gift he gives us is to forward his kingdom.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's never about, I'm going to gift them so they can have a gifted life. No, like it has nothing whatsoever to do with us.
Yep.
Okay. We're to use the gifts that he gives us to forward his kingdom.
And to be just be thankful for the things you can do.
Yeah.
Be thankful for the things that he gives you to be able to do. Now, it may seem like the worst job.
Yeah.
Listen, there's been a lot of times when you're working on camp stuff and you're like, this has to be the worst job. Like, I know. Listen, everybody should probably give a round of applause to Tina for the eggs. Listen, she had, blow egg yolks out of eggs. We needed the shell. But she needed to suck and blow. I don't even know what she had to do. She had to get the yolk out of the egg without cracking it.
That sounds like buy plastic eggs to me,
but like those jobs, nobody wants to do that.
Right.
But be thankful that Tina's thankful she didn't want to do that, but like she's thankful she was able to do that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's the whole point of being thankful with God is being thankful that you're able to work for him, that you're able to do the things, whether that be the out there, the front runner ministry person,
the person,
in the front, the front person, or if you're the person in the back counting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be thankful in it. Be thankful that you get to be there, that you get to give your part,
Exactly. So we can grieve and still be thankful.
Oh, yeah.
We can hurt and still be thankful. We can be angry at sin and still be thankful towards God. That is what the Bible calls a sacrifice of praise. Giving thanks to God keeps our hearts in the right relationship with Him and saves us from a host of harmful emotions and attitudes that rob us of the peace God wants us to experience. I would like to challenge all of us this week to think of a situation that isn't going the way that we want or even expect it to go. As you pray over the situation, let's remember to thank God for the situation, regardless of how we may personally feel about the situation. So whatever you're struggling with, everything, either God lets it happen or He makes it happen. Okay? And everything He's working for His good. We are unable to see the big picture.
Yeah.
You know? But fortunately, we have a God who loves us, can see the whole picture, and is guiding us from not what He's guessing is going to happen, for what He knows for certain is in our future. Be thankful to God and be thankful for His divine plan in our lives.
I mean, I've never woken up in, if you start your day thankful, it doesn't it changes your mindset.
Right.
If you just wake up thankful for the things that God does and it has put you in, and if you just wake up thankful, your day is going to be a lot better than if you wake up mad.
Right. Yeah. Because you're thankful, life is gonna throw stuff at you. You know what I mean? And
you're gonna have different glasses though. If you wake up in the morning and you put on your thankful glasses, you're less likely to be angry throughout the day, unless you're just putting them on and being angry the entire day.
That's very true, because when you're in a thankful state of mind, you're no longer dodging what life has coming at you. You're just standing fast in your thankfulness. You know what I mean? So life is difficult when you're trying to dodge life at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're trying to pick, it's like life is coming down a conveyor belt and you're trying to pick up only the good stuff. Yeah. And that's just the miserable existence. So when I wrote this, I was like, wait, I thought I used this earlier in it, but I'm going to say it again. So this week's considerable quote, not quote, it is getting cold, but this is a quote, comes from 1 Thessalonians 5, verses 16 through 18. Rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. This week's featured content is I Am Thankful by Maverick City Music. Last week's trivia was, how much did the largest pumpkin weigh?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie weigh.
That was you, Rachel.
It was A.
Oh, A.
Yeah, 3,699 pounds.
That's a lot of pumpkin
They couldn't just one more pound.
I know, just to make
They probably made it and then weighed it and then we're like, garbage beans. That's my new thing. I don't know why.
All right. This week's trivia question is, how long did the first Thanksgiving Day feast last? 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days? Which is a week?
I was going to say, why'd you put it? Is there the people that don't know?
For the people that don't know, that's 1 week.
Yeah, it's a week. Well, some people get confused.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you saying they started on a Thursday and they ate the next Thursday? I don't know. That could be 8 days. I'm not really sure.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair, because it's always you got to count the one and the other.
Exactly. So, I mean, I often get confused when people are going, all right, next Thursday. I'm like, wait, what do you mean next Thursday? Do you mean this Thursday? No, next Thursday. What is next?
Like the Thursday coming, the Thursday after that.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what day I've learned. It depends on what day of the week they're talking about and what day of the week you're on.
Yep.
So, too much brain work, though. So, this week's birthdays, Joshua Justice, Rachel Hines.
We need our party.
It was better than our the 200th episode thing.
You didn't make a noise like that with our 200th episode.
Because I had to build a thing.
It was too hard. I understand. I understand.
Right. And I was saving that for a special occasion.
Oh, just for Rachel.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Right. Bryce Krasinski. Bryce
Kaminsky.
Yes, thank you. Tracy Murray. And that's it.
That's a short list.
Yeah, it's very
it is a
short.
list. There is no male sad faces. Again, our mailman is not here, so there could be mail. We just don't know about it.
He might have so much mail when he comes
It's
back.
just going to be a pile. One of these episodes is just going to be a pile of mail sitting in the middle.
So don't forget to like, share, comment, mail us, let us know what you think. We appreciate any feedback that you guys give us out there. And with that, also thanks for joining us, and bye guys.
Bye. Honestly, I don't even read it again, like in my head. Like as I'm doing it, I just type
You
it as
just
it
type.
goes. And then,
That explains a lot.
yeah. And then when I get here, I don't know how to say any of the words that I typed.
Why did I keep using strategically tree?
I know I can't say that word.
No, I can't do it.